Broadcasting live from the Jersey Shore, it's Coach Kev on the Damage 365 Radio Network.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Damage 365 Radio. This is episode number 43. I am Coach Kev, along with my co-host, who is live in studio today, Nick DeBeard. Welcome to the show, Nick.
Thank you very much, Kev. Thanks for being in my backyard, basically. I mean, I got a beer in my hand, pizza in front of me, best friends in the room with us in the next room. Couldn't be better right now.
So, as you heard, our intro says we're broadcasting live from the Jersey Shore. Not today. We are live from Beard Country, up here in upper state New York, minutes away from Middletown, New York, where we were earlier today for Wrestling Spectacular 3D. Some spectacular things went on there today. Some unfortunate things went on there today, but we're going to recap a great weekend of wrestling conventions, Warriors of Wrestling from last night. Just a great show. We're going to save our tournament results for next week because we just don't have the time to do all of this. We were going to try to do a live show from the event, but the lack of strong internet service didn't allow us to do that, period. So, but we'd like to thank everybody from Wrestling Spectacular and Legends of the Ring, respectively, for allowing us to do our thing at these conventions. We met a lot of people, and we're going to get to all of that. But right now, we want to get to our shout-outs because we got some special people out there to recognize for birthdays. And without further ado, grab a beer, sit back, mute that football game, and give us a couple minutes of your time before the pay-per-view tonight.
Absolutely.
So chill, folks. It's playing right here. It's shout-out time, ladies and gentlemen, and we have some birthdays out there. We'd like to wish a happy 30th birthday to Damage 365's good friend and my partner on VOC Nation's Pandemonium on Wednesday nights on the VOC Nation, Nanny. Happy 30th birthday to Nanny, and I hope you have a really good day on your birthday. Of course, I'll be texting you at 12:01 a.m., as I always do. And I know she'll be awake, so I'm not really worried about that. We want to wish happy birthdays to former guest Caitlin Diamond, and a former guest, a man that we had the pleasure of watching last night at Warriors of Wrestling as he took on EC3. Warriors of Wrestling's the Man of Steel, Chris Steeler. Happy birthday to Chris, Caitlin Diamond, and Nanny, and anybody else celebrating their birthday with Damage 365 this week. And
happy birthday to everybody.
Yeah, happy birthday. Happy birthday to everybody.
Yes, sir, we promised you a great match here tonight. Last year, Andre, the China WrestleMania.
Hulkamania is running west.
My God, what a If God, the world is watching.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, and Nick gets to see firsthand everything that I have to go through to get this show on the road. All the music, sound effects, putting music in queue and getting it ready, playing it, deleting, adding, all the moving around the files, and I just see the look on his face going, Jesus Christ, I'm glad I only have to call in.
It's great to be live for the first time. I mean, I've been been with Damage for just over a year now, so it's good to be live and getting everything going. And like I was telling Kev before, he was saying how he got his house last week, and once everything gets set up in that studio, I'm going to be live as much as I can be.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I mean, it's just going to be, we're going to have some state-of-the-art equipment going on, splitters and sound. The sound quality is going to be phenomenal, and we're going to have multiple microphones. We're going to have guests live in the studio instead of just calling in. You know, any local talent we're going to invite over, you know, even if I got to feed them, you know, because that never happens. People don't come to my house and eat.
I want to do something live with Joey Janela or something like that.
Yeah,
like those guys.
Of course, Ricky O.
Ricky O. Have those guys live in studio.
Remember, you get the king of trash, Danny DeManto.
Oh, we got to have all those guys live because the atmosphere that would be in the studio would be phenomenal.
Phenomenal would be the best word to describe this past weekend. Tomorrow, when I go back to work, phenomenal might not be the word I'd use. It might be exhaustion.
I got to go back to work at 9 tomorrow morning. So this weekend was amazing. We met so many great people and had amazing conversations. I mean, we had Kevin had the great opportunity to meet Jeff Jarrett. Got a picture with him and Karen. Got to meet Tony Atlas. I don't even know what to say about him.
That's an interesting character.
He's an interesting character.
Just Google Tony Atlas foot fetish, and we don't need to go into any more detail.
Funny guy though, great guy, super funny. Val Venus.
Yes.
I had a 30-minute conversation with myself and Christine today with Val Venus about marijuana. He owns a vapor marijuana place in Phoenix, Arizona, and he invited us down to go smoke weed.
The cannabis kid.
It was amazing. X-Pac, great guy. Sonny, Brittany, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who we got a picture with. Mike Knox stopped me because of my beard and had a conversation with me. Kevin and I got a picture with Earl Hebner.
I know.
We ribbed on Jinder Mahal a little bit.
Yeah, Jinder Mahal, I called him a fake. I was like, where's your accent, you fake? And I just looked at him, I was like, you just can't trust people. He was cracking up laughing, but it was interesting.
Got to have a quick word with Tyler Rex, Ezekiel Jackson, Crime Time was there. Al Snow was as funny as ever.
Yes.
Kev got a I'm a Jim Cornette guy t-shirt.
That's right.
I got a Spirit Squad t-shirt because those are my boys.
And he admits that loudly.
Camacho was there, who was awesome. EC3's great, especially after his nice cut over his eye Friday night against
the Man
Chris
of Steel bust open the eye of EC3. And then the always beautiful and lovely SoCal
Val. Great. Said hi to us, asked us how we were doing. The Dudley boys, RVD, Kev got to take a picture with Vader.
Yep, I got to give Vader the face with the voice. Since we had the interview a couple weeks ago, so now you got to see who he was actually talking to.
Exactly.
Got to meet former King Haku, which was
tank.
really, he's still a monster.
He's still a monster at this day and age. Brutus Beefcake was there last night.
Thanks
yesterday.
for showing, Brutus.
Yeah. Andrew Anderson, who I got to give him a lot of props because he went to Legends of the Ring yesterday, left at noon to drive all the way to Delaware for another signing, and still showed up early today in Middletown.
Yep.
The drive from Monroe to Delaware and then Delaware to Middletown is phenomenal, and I give him so many props for sticking to his schedule and meeting all the fans. I couldn't say enough about the guy.
And we're going to have him on the show soon. He's going to be promoting a independent wrestling documentary that they've been doing with all the old school wrestlers, including another guy that we had the pleasure of bumping into again, Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Absolutely.
And of course, the former general manager of SmackDown, Teddy Long.
And I just want to say, Teddy Long, even though the suits may look like they fit him on TV, but his suits are huge.
Yeah.
The suits are hanging off of him, but he's a nice guy. He was saying hi to all the fans.
He was calling everybody player.
A player, of course. Yesterday was more of a packed house in Monroe, New Jersey than Middletown was.
Yep.
But Middletown today was still awesome.
It was more of a social. We got to talk and take more pictures at Wrestling Spectacular this morning because one it was a little bit of a wider venue. And it wasn't as crowded.
Yeah.
It took me 25 minutes to get from one side of the room to the other yesterday. At Legends of the Ring. And that's just, I'm not complaining. That's just to the credit of the talent that they brought in and the amount of people, the loyal fans that came in to get their stuff signed. But I have to say, to John of Wrestling Spectacular, to the guys at Legend in the Ring, Brian Barth and I can't remember the other guy's name. I don't remember his last name, Unger.
Yeah.
Can't remember his first name. For the big event. We might have to start making some limitations of what the amount of stuff or the size of the things that
fans can bring in.
It's a tight squeeze. You can't have somebody bringing a 50-pound suitcase and rolling it in, or a 50-gallon storage container on wheels.
And we're not talking about talent either. There's fans who are bringing in
it's all the fans.
These absolute giant suitcases of things to sign. And I understand, I'm a fan.
I mean, they're paying for it.
They're
paying for it, but they shouldn't be allowed into the room.
Exactly.
Say, look, do you want to get some stuff signed? Bring a handful of stuff and have it signed.
Yeah.
Go back outside, swap your stuff out of your damn suitcase, and then go back in with the rest of your stuff.
Exactly.
Because two things. One, it's just a disaster. You had people, unfortunate people in wheelchairs.
Yeah.
They couldn't get around.
I saw at least 5 to 6 or 7 people yesterday in wheelchairs who had such a hard time moving around in Monroe because there was people with suitcases, and I understand that you want to get a lot of stuff signed as a fan.
But they're standing there with 50 things to sign.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you got a kid standing behind you who wants one thing signed.
Yeah.
And he's got to stand there for a half hour and wait. Meanwhile, you're standing there for a half hour to get, say, like the Honky Tonk Man's autograph. Nice jacket, by the way, his red, white, and blue Star Spangled Banner jacket.
Awesome jacket.
But by the time you get that autograph, you might want Greg to Hammer Valentine's autograph, and he might leave.
Yeah, there should, in my mind, as much as it stinks to say, but I think there should be sort of a limit on things that you can sign for that $10, $20, $30 or whatever you're paying to get the wrestler to sign your things. There should be a limit on how much they can sign, in my mind.
That or just, look, if you're going to bring all this stuff, we all know photos don't take up a lot of room, books don't really take up that much room, but
when you're bringing in these rings,
when you're bringing in pieces of rings, you're bringing in chairs, you're bringing in bats with barbed wire. I mean, you're bringing in like these humongous props.
I don't mind the belts because a lot of people carry the belts on their shoulders the entire time.
That's fine. And we see many people wearing multiple belts.
Exactly.
I mean, we saw one guy had 3 belts around his waist, 2 around his neck a la John Cena.
Yep.
And another one fully snapped and hanging off the back of his head like a backpack.
Yep.
So
I don't mind things like that because like they're keeping it right on top of them. You don't have to worry about like it taking up space and limiting kids walking or people in wheelchairs coming around. So, but regardless of the space issue yesterday,
it was fun.
It was absolutely phenomenal. And today,
and we had the same seats. We had the same table space area
that we had last couple months ago,
and it was great. I mean, we had a couple of our buddies like Richie DiGregorio was a couple tables away from us. Eric Sims was on the same side of the house as us. So, we had our familiar people around us that we know. We had Joey Styles sitting directly next to us.
Both days.
Yeah. Poor guy.
I do want to say thanks to Richie, and I know Kev wants to as well, for everything that he does for Damage 365 and for just the talent
and Eric Sims, too.
Absolutely. Those guys.
Check him out on Facebook. You can go ESS Promotions and Richie DeGreg Promotions.
Both those guys are so hardworking.
They're loyal to their craft. They take care of the guys and the girls, and unfortunate things happen when in the wrestling business, like EC3 cutting his eye open, and and his Richie feels miserable. I mean, there's nothing he can do about it. He's not really responsible for it, but he feels miserable because I brought this guy in and he gets hurt.
Yeah.
So he's always got to have that worry of he's never going to work with him again.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
But both Eric and Richie are super hard working.
If anybody needed a Xanax this weekend, it was Richie.
Yeah. And
we'll get more into that later. But there was another incident that another Richie DeGreg person, and
but we do want to say,
unfortunately, it resulted in a positive thing.
Yeah. But do want to say special thanks, to our partners on the ECW Originals Tour. We had Pitbull, Gary Wolf, the Pit Girls, Christy Kiss and Candy, and the chair swinging SOB, Axel Rotten. These guys, the 4 of them were the nicest people you'll ever meet. They took us in with open arms, and we